What's up guys, it's your boy Kidamaki. Today we're going to talk about Boruto chapter 51. Well, the official release. Now I have to say that this chapter was pretty amazing. It wasn't as spectacular as I thought it would be, but that could be because I read the spoilers like 2 days ago, so I pretty much knew what was gonna happen. But all in all, it was a pretty good chapter regardless. Like, we got some information about Kaguya and the Otsutsuki and why they travel in pairs, and that's really important, and I want to get to that earlier on in the video rather than later. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm not even gonna put an intro because we just need to get to this information, and I want to relay this to you guys and also give my thoughts on it and what I think this means. And some things that I think they really just brushed over, and some things that they kind of avoided that we really need answers to. So I'm just gonna get into that right away. Now, I know we already talked about Naruto's form in the last video in the spoiler review, so I'm not really gonna go in depth on it in this video. I'm just gonna say what I thought about the transformation. Now, the transformation looks cool and all. It looks like beast mode, basically what you would think or what you'd expect beast mode to look like. It's like a fusion or merger of Naruto and Kurama. But what I expected going into this chapter, I knew what it was gonna look like because we already saw the spoilers. But what I was expecting is like the transformation process. I expected it to be better, right? I expected it to be spectacular because this is supposed to be Naruto's ultimate form, right? Because this is what's gonna beat Isshiki. Now, the transformation was weak. The process was like boring, right? We've seen Naruto transform into like KCM for the first time, and that was amazing. This form was like, when they do the summoning and they summon the tools, or when Isshiki summoned his robe and you saw the smokes just pop up, or when they're doing a substitution jutsu, and the smokes just pop up and they disappear. That's basically what this was. It was like he was summoning a form. It's not like a transformation. Hopefully when they animate this, they put a lot of chakra and a lot of effort into it. Like, when I say chakra into it, I don't mean they are going to use chakra. I mean, like, when you transform, I want to see chakra everywhere, right? I want it to look something similar to Goku's Super Saiyan 1 transformation, because that was just awesome. So yeah, I wanted to be on that level when they animated. This one was pretty boring. It was pretty weak, but the form itself looks pretty great, and I hope that it makes a lot of sense and it utilizes a lot of his abilities. One problem I have with this form right away is that it's not utilizing Sage Mode, because if you look into his eyes, he doesn't have Sage Mode on. And I think that they're really dropping the ball with Sage Mode, because it was stated in Naruto Shippuden that Sage Mode is a direct counter to Otsutsuki chakra. So Naruto decided not to use Sage Mode when fighting a Otsutsuki clan member literally makes zero sense. But hopefully they explain it later on in the series, hopefully in the next 2 chapters, because we literally have 2 months left this year. So hopefully we get something good. But they're really gonna push this back to December, bro. I believe that this fight will last until December, maybe even January. So who knows what will happen. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait 30 more days, like literally a month, before we get more information on what will happen next. And going into this chapter, I pretty much knew where it would have ended. Like obviously it would have ended with Naruto transforming into this form. Like this is a trend in the anime community and manga community, whatever you want to call it. Like in every anime, like when they have a manga, yeah, the transformation into a new form literally always rolls over into the next chapter. So yeah, this was pretty much expected. And in the spoiler information, we also got information that yeah, the chapter would have basically ended there. So this wasn't surprising. But what I was really looking for is for them to expound on the transformation and to show us more, right? And to explain it more. But yeah, we didn't get that. So hopefully next month, we'll get that information. But we'll just have to wait and see. Now, something big, something new, something really interesting was revealed in this chapter, right? And this is why Otsutsuki members travel in pairs. Like Amado explained, and with the help of Sumari, of course, but Amado is the one really providing the information. You're literally just writing off what he says and completing his sentences. So Amado is really just feeding them a lot of information, and then we also have, Isshiki on the other side on the battlefield, basically saying this the same thing but in less detail. But we're just gonna go with what Amado said because he explained everything in detail. So Amado explained in this chapter that Isshiki wants to sacrifice Boruto to the Ten Tails in order to grow the God Tree. He also revealed that this is why Otsutsuki members travel in pairs. What this all means is that an Otsutsuki member has to be sacrificed in order to grow the God Tree. Kaguya was supposed to be the Otsutsuki sacrifice, but she betrayed Isshiki, so that's why Isshiki was planning to sacrifice himself in order to grow the God Tree and then resurrect using Kawaki's Karma Seal. Now that's pretty interesting because Kodashi's basically just killing all these YouTubers, right? He's just dropping bomb after bomb and he's basically just destroying all the theories on YouTube because this was not one of them, right? And in the prior chapters and even in this chapter, like, he's just proving all of us wrong because we're not really getting things right. Like, we got some things right, but a lot of important things, including this one, like, we just didn't see it coming, and that's pretty interesting. And I think a lot of creators need to learn from this, especially the writers for Game of Thrones. I'm not throwing any shades, bro, but that shit was crazy. But yeah, like, this was pretty awesome, and I have to say that, I understand this and this makes a lot of sense, and I like when things make sense. That's pretty important. But let's carry on. Amado also explained that Isshiki changed his plans after finding out that Momoshiki's Karma Seal was on Boruto. He explains that a stronger body will bear a stronger fruit, which is why he'd rather use Boruto's body over Jigen. And that makes a lot of sense because, as explained in prior chapters, Jigen's body was deteriorating, so it really didn't make much sense to really use Jigen's body over Boruto's body. But then again, guys, you have to understand that this doesn't mean that Isshiki needs Boruto. He doesn't need Boruto to complete his plans. He can still use his body and put his Karma Seal on Kawaki, and we know that's going to happen, right? He's going to put his Karma Seal on Kawaki. So Boruto, this trump card that Boruto has, is not really a trump card, and I'll explain why, but let's get into what happened next. Now, on the battlefield, before Naruto even transformed, right, and before we got all of this information, like, everything is happening at the same time. So Boruto is explaining this to Sasuke whilst Amado is explaining it to everybody else back at Konoha. And Ishiki's just there listening to Boruto, right, because he knows what he's planning to do, but he wants to hear what Boruto has to say. He wants to hear if Boruto really figured out his plan, right? And he allowed him to speak, which is pretty interesting, and it's pretty badass because he's not really in a rush. Like, he's in a rush to get Kawaki, but he's really taking his time to basically just demolish Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke, and it's pretty amazing, right? And I think that's why everybody loves Isshiki and Jigen, right? Because they are a big threat. Even though I think that Naruto and Sasuke are nerfed, he is a big threat, and he's a pretty threatening villain and a pretty convincing one at that, right? So yeah, back to the chapter. Now Boruto is basically explaining Ishiki's plan to him, right? And then basically threatens Jigen, right? He's like, I'm going to kill myself, so you won't be able to complete your plan. And Jigen is like, okay, is that a threat? And Sasuke is right there thinking the same thing, right? Because he's literally threatening Isshiki, and Isshiki can literally just reach over there in less than a second, right? And it's like Boruto is not really realizing what he's doing. And as I said, Boruto doesn't have a trump card, right? He just doesn't. And I know everyone thought that he did based on what happened in the last chapter, but it isn't really a trump card because Jigen doesn't, or Isshiki doesn't need Boruto to complete his plan, right? He's just going to make his plan better, in a way. If you understand what I'm saying, he's just going to make the fruit better. But he doesn't necessarily need Boruto, so even if Boruto kills himself right here, Ishiki's plan will continue anyway. He's still going to sacrifice his body in order to grow the God Tree, and he's still going to kill everyone on the planet regardless. So Boruto killing himself here like literally accomplishes nothing. So Boruto really overplayed his hands here, and Isshiki ensured that he knew that by literally bodying Sasuke and breaking Boruto's hand. Like literally just snapped it, right? And Sasuke is really taking a beating in these last few chapters, right? And it's just sad watching him take it. It's like this dude just got kicked right through a cliff. And it's pretty interesting that Sasuke can really handle that kind of force, because it was explained to us that Naruto really had the body while Sasuke had the dojutsu, but he's able to take these hits, right? And he's not using any Kurama protection, he's not using the Susanoo to protect himself, but he's still able to deflect these things or to absorb these hits and just get it back afterwards. So it's pretty amazing that he's this durable. But yeah, he's still gonna die. And it's pretty sad, but I mean, it is what it is. And it was already foreshadowed at the beginning of the series, so it's not really a surprise. Now we also had a scene where Kawaki basically confronted Amado, right? And he's like, dude, why are you so calm? Like, why aren't you worried? Because if Isshiki defeats Naruto and Sasuke, he's coming for you and you'll also die, right? And my man Amado is like, dude, like, it is what it is. Like, that's literally what he said. Like, dude, I did what I did because I thought that was the right thing to do. That was the only option we had, right? So, if Naruto and Sasuke wins, that's great. If they lose, that's also great. Like, we did what we could. So if we die, bro, it is what it is, dude. And that's basically what he said. And this dude just went back to doing what he was doing. And he was like, he took a jab at Kawaki. He literally said, dude, are you really upset about what's happening, or are you upset that you lost your power, right? You lost the karma seal. And Kawaki is like, what? And when they show this blank screen, right, this black background, and to show the character in front, it's kind of to show the character thinking to themselves, right, having an inner thought. And it showed that Kawaki was really contemplating what he's actually upset about, and that's really concerning, right? Because this is kind of implying that Kawaki might end up taking the karma seal, willingly, whether it is to save the village or to save the shinobi world, or he's just doing it for power. We don't know, but apparently he will take it willingly because he yearns for that power. And anyone would, right? Like, if you had this amount of power and then it just disappeared immediately, like, you'd want it back in some way, right? So I guess we just have to wait and see what happens there. But this is pretty interesting, and this is leading up to what we saw in the time skip, right? And I just can't wait till we get there. Hopefully next year will be that time. Hopefully we get the time skip maybe in December. Well, scrap that. Hopefully not. Maybe mid next year, right? Because I think they have a lot more to do right here at this point in time with Boruto, Sarada, and all these other characters before they do the time skip. Maybe the time skip will come soon afterwards, but maybe next year, mid next year, to see the time skip, right? But yeah, all in all, this was a pretty good chapter, and I'm waiting for November to come up. Hopefully Naruto doesn't die. I think he will, but Sasuke will bring him back with Rinne Rebirth, and finally complete his redemption arc, right? And someone said to me in the comments that Sasuke is still, paying for what he did by not, receiving a new arm. And I'm like, dude, like, everyone is about to die. Isshiki is going to take over the world. Like, he's gonna suck all the chakra from the earth, and he's literally killing Boruto and Naruto in front of you, and you're gonna tell me that you're not gonna grow a new arm because of your atonement? Like, dude, you need to pop out everything that you have in order to save the people you love, right? So that literally makes no sense. And Sasuke has the power to, like, within his Rinnegan, to literally grow a new arm. Like, that's pretty simple for him. But as I said, these characters have been nerfed, or they're just outright stupid, or it's just lazy writing, who knows. But yeah, they have a lot of powers that they're not using, and they haven't used in the Boruto era, and hopefully we get to see them use it in the upcoming chapters. But I'm not gonna place any bets on that, but yeah, hopefully it happens. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know down in the comment section. Remember to drop a like to show your support. And also, I want to know what you guys thought about this chapter, right? That's pretty important. Like, I want to get like a census on what you guys thought about the chapter. Now, obviously, I covered it a few days ago with the spoilers and so on, so I guess everyone is basically like, okay, because we already knew this was happening. So yeah, we aren't really surprised about anything. So I don't think anyone is really excited about the chapter, because you know that excitement actually wears off like after a few days, right? So maybe no one is excited about the chapter, but I think it was still pretty amazing, even though we were spoiled. But yeah, just let me know what you guys thought, and you know, any questions you guys have, yeah, and any theories, you know, because the last video you guys dropped some really interesting theories in the comment section, and I'm gonna make a video on maybe a couple of them, you know, and just research and get some information before I put it out there. But yeah guys, just let me know what you guys think. If you're new to the channel, remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified of all my new content. Until next time guys, stay safe.